What's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Kaero. Today, some of the first spoilers for Dominaria United were revealed, and I'm going to go through all of those today with you in case you missed the Magic the Gathering live stream. We're just going to go through all the pictures, and I'm going to give a brief rating on all these cards and what I think. I've just only now seen them, so time will tell whether these are going to be good or not. If you like the video, please hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel to see MTG Arena gameplay and more Dominaria United spoilers and news as we approach the release of the set. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The very first card that was spoiled is Lanawarlome Speaker. This is a 2-drop 1/3, so a more expensive Llanowar Elves that you can tap to add 1 mana of any color, but it also has 3 toughness, meaning that it's not just going to die to 1 damage here or there. It has 3, so you can get around shock and things that deal 2 damage. It also has a tap ability where target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with haste until end of turn, and it's still land, and activate that only as a sorcery. So Lanawarlome Speaker cannot bring a land in to block for you, but if you don't need the tap to add 1 mana of any color, or you kind of run out of things to do with this or cards to play, it can always bring a land in and go ahead and have it come in with haste and attack your opponent. So I think this is quite a good card. For 2 mana, it's a 1/3. It ramps you, and it also allows you to become aggressive if you really need to. Very versatile card, and this is a rare. Here is the Buy a Box main set and extended art versions. I believe the Buy a Box is a box topper version, but we'll see more with that as time goes on. So I like this card. I think it's very good. The second card that they spoiled today is actually reminding me a lot of the Spirit that came out in Kaldheim that kind of evolved as time went on. This is Evolved Sleeper. So this is a human, or it starts out that way. It's a 1 black 1/1. You can tap a swamp and it becomes a human cleric with base power and toughness 2/2. Now keep in mind that you can do this at any time that you have the black mana available, so it doesn't say activate only as a sorcery. So you can block with this and all of a sudden it becomes a 2/2, or somebody casts a 1 damage spell at it, you just make it a 2/2, it kind of protects itself there. The second ability, 2 mana, 1 black, 1 generic. If Evolved Sleeper is a cleric, which it gains from its first ability, you can put a Death Touch counter on it, and it becomes a Phyrexian human cleric with base power and toughness 3/3. Third ability, 2 swamps, 1 generic. If Evolved Sleeper is a Phyrexian, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then you draw a card and lose 1 life. So I think this is a very versatile card. I think this is going to see play. It's a 1-drop 1/1 that you can keep pumping mana into, and it's kind of unpredictable in that if your opponent's not watching carefully, they try to remove it, and then all of a sudden they can't with direct damage spells. I think it's pretty decent in combat, and it could open the door for some black based, like maybe black blue tempo stuff, as we've seen with the Spirit in Kaldheim, even though that one's rotating out. But keep in mind also this third ability, if it's a Phyrexian, you can just put a +1/+1 counter on it and draw a card, lose a life whenever you have 3 mana. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can only do it 1 time. So if you have free mana, this is also potentially a card draw engine. I think it's very good. I love the art, and I'm loving the Phyrexian theme here. So the third card that was spoiled is Temporal Firestorm. I love almost everything about this card. It's 3 generic, 2 red, and it deals 5 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. So a nice board wipe in red. Reminds me of Burn Down the House that we have right now, which that will actually also stay around too after rotation. But if you see here, we have a kicker, and that kicker involves either paying 1 plains 1 generic, or 1 island 1 generic, or blue mana, white mana. And then you can choose up to X creatures or planeswalkers you control, where X is the number of times the spell was kicked, and those permanents phase out. So you can phase something out, your biggest creature or planeswalker, and then wipe the board. I think this is a very powerful effect. It is at rare, but it only takes 7 mana in a control shell to be able to play a big creature or something, like say you have a reflection of Kiki Jiki down, something that you want to save and the board gets out of hand. If you're playing blue or white, you're able to phase that out, wipe the board, and then have your biggest creature or planeswalker left over. And I love that Teferi's in the background here, assisting. So Teferi's in the background, that's where the white and blue mana comes in. So it's like, if you kick it, then all of a sudden Teferi comes in, boom, phases something out for you. Very, very cool. I love this. And the last of the main spoilers that they did for main cards in the set, we have Jaya, Fiery Negotiator. We have Jaya Ballard back. This is a 4 mana planeswalker, comes in with 4 loyalty counters. Does cost 2 red, so you can +1 to create a 1/1 red monk creature token with prowess, which is going to be very good because this card cares a lot about being aggressive, and you'll see why in just a second. -1, exile the top 2 cards of your library, choose 1, you can play that card this turn. So if you're in a typical red aggressive shell, you might run out of cards around turn 4 or 5. This is going to be nice to be able to exile the top 2 and play something and keep that pressure going. -2 to choose target creature an opponent controls. Whenever you attack this turn, Jaya Fiery Negotiator deals damage equal to the number of attacking creatures to that creature. So we've seen some white spells like this in the last year. We haven't seen any red spells that I'm aware of that deal direct damage based on the number of creatures that you control. I think we saw Lantern Flare is the closest thing that we have for this with the cleave cost. And then -8, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a red instant or sorcery spell, copy it twice. You may choose new targets for the copies. So it's going to be kind of hard to get Jaya to 8, but if you do, it also can protect itself by +1ing to create 1/1 red monk creatures. And if you fall behind, you at least have those as chump blockers while you try to get up to that 8. It is unlikely that you get there, but this is going to be good in an aggressive red shell. Now note that the -8, if you do achieve that emblem, it is only red instants or sorceries, but it doesn't limit by mana cost. So even if you cast a huge spell, you can copy that. But the +1 is good at protecting her. The -1 is good at pseudo card draw in your red deck. And then the -2 can be good if you have a lot of, you're very wide on board. Say you have 4, 5, 6 little 1/1, 2/2s, including your red monks with prowess. That all of a sudden you just -2 and then just kill their biggest thing and then go in. So I think this is a good card. We'll see if it sees play or not, but I love the art, love the card. Another card that was spoiled is Shiven Devastator. Now, as we all know, we are losing Goldspan Dragon in rotation. This could be like a pseudo replacement. It's a little bit more flexible, but I think the payoff's a little bit lower. But it could replace if there's like a new dragon shell. It's 1 red and X, and it comes into the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, flying and haste. Pretty simple. So if you cast this for 5, it's a 4/4 flying haste, 6 it's a 5/5 flying haste, etc., etc. You could pair this with counter synergies. Maybe there's something with Vorinclex in there where it doubles counters, something like that. So it's flexible. We'll see. I'm not sure exactly what this is going to do, but it's a mythic rare, and I think it's a little bit worse than Goldspan Dragon, or maybe quite a bit worse. But we have to see. There might be other synergies that we see later in the set. So that's Shivan Devastator. This next spoiler is for lands, and the art style on these is super sweet. They're calling them stained glass, and they actually look very cool. They're coming in foil and non-foil. I think the plains is my favorite, but they all look awesome. And I'm hoping that these arts will come at a fairly cheap price on Arena, because I will definitely use them. They're really cool. They also revealed some game day promos. We have 3 of them here, and they're from other sets. Well, 2 of them are from a different set. We have Touch the Spirit Realm, as you will have remembered from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. New art. This is a game day promo. We also have Workshop Warchief from Streets of New Capenna. New art, which I think looks pretty awesome. He looks very civilized with his hat on. In comparison to the other art, which I like too. But then the other game day promo is actually also Shivan Devastator. And then we have some store championship promos. This is Spell Pierce promo version, very cool. Looks like a merfolk in there with new art. And then we have, if you top 8 at your local game store, you get this Gilded Goose special art promo. And then if you win a store championship, they are giving out an Omnath Locus of Creation borderless. Pretty cool. There is some other information in there. There are key dates for release that they explained. There's also things to do with Jumpstart. I'm not going to cover those in this video because this video is just about spoilers, but I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for checking out the channel. please hit that thumbs up and consider subscribing. We've got MTG Arena gameplay, other videos, we rate some cards using AI, do a lot of fun stuff like that. So hopefully I'll see you next time, and have a great day.